All right, guys, we're back at the shop here. We're going to get started on this 850 project. First thing we got to do is get the blade off of it. So we're going to get the trunnion bolts busted out of it and try to get the dozer backed away from it so we can kind of see how bad those trunnions are. Let's get started. There's always got to be one out of the bunch. Let's try a bigger impact before we get the smoke wrench out. Got it. I can't believe all those come out. I thought for sure I was gonna have to torch one off, but. Next step, I'm gonna throw some jack stands underneath those push arms. I probably should have done that before I took those off, but the jack stand don't quite fit, and I'm hoping I can jack it up enough it'll slide underneath now that that cap's off. So, see what happens. All right, up next we got to get these lift cylinders detached from the blade. Got 4 bolts, 2 here and 2 over there. out the cylinders broke loose. I've got to take this little cover off and unhook the lines that go over to the tilt cylinder. And I think we'll be ready to back this thing out away from this blade, hopefully. All right, I think we got everything disconnected. Trunnion's off, lift cylinders are off, hoses for the tilt cylinder are off. I think it's time to back this thing away. Thought out plan I ever had. I had cylinders flopping everywhere, and the worst part was I stood on top of the dozer to put the camera on the crane up there, not thinking when I moved the dozer I couldn't reach the camera, so I spent 15 minutes trying to fish my stupid camera down. But anyways, this is what we're after. I don't know how you can see that that's wore off real bad right there. I priced new ones, and I'm pretty sure I can just spend a couple hours running some weld in there and build that back up good enough to get me by for a while. This here is actually not wore that bad. The majority of the wear is on the ball, so make it pretty easy. But good stopping point for the night. I'm gonna go inside, get something to eat, and see the kiddos, and tie back into this sometime tomorrow. All right, guys, I was working late and didn't get back to the shop quite as quick as what I wanted to, but this is Brandon Taylor and Chris Lenny. They own a mobile welding service, on-site welding service, a couple friends of mine. I had them come out to work on these trunnion balls for me, a couple different reasons. One, I didn't have enough time to mess with it, and two, I'm pretty sure, actually I know for sure, as they've got the job done, they're better at it than I am, but you can see there they welded it up. We kind of checked and make sure they were good and round. I don't know, these guys maybe had 4.5 hours combined between the two of them, getting them back good as new. Everything went really well. Absolutely tickled to death with the job they did for me. And you'll see here in a minute, you'll see the finished product. It turned out awesome. This is what it looks like after it's all done. Brendan and Chris did a knock-up job. I don't know if you can tell, but it was wore all the way back to there, so all this was built back up with weld. We ended up flipping it over and putting it on the other way, so the blade's actually going to be, that's the front of the dozer, so the blade's actually going to be rubbing on what used to be the back. Not too worried about crossing up wear patterns because it was going to be on a new wear pattern anyways, but I don't know, they got started before I got here. They probably worked on it for 4.5 hours, and they did both sides. They did this side and the other side. And they told me they ain't gonna charge me anything as long as I got their business card in this video. So there you go, guys. I really appreciate it. I did an awesome job, bang up job. I'm pretty happy with it. And after it's all said and done, it's definitely gonna be cheaper to go this route on this older machine than you know, if I would have got new balls and new push caps, we still would have had to air arc all this off and replace that whole piece. The same thing on that end. I'm pretty sure it would have been just as much welding and twice as much money. So pretty happy with the decision to go this way. Pretty pleased with the way it turned out. That ought to run for a couple thousand more hours depending on what we're doing with it, and it'll live to see another day.